everybody, welcome back to another stream, welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to The Neighborhood. How are you all? I hope you're doing amazing today. Today I'm just gonna villager hunt for Maple and Apple. No particular rhyme or reason for why I chose them. They're not connecting to a certain theme or anything. I just thought it would be fun. I really like Apple in particular, and then whenever I saw Maple the other day on Animal Crossing Happy Home Paradise, I was like, you know what? She'd be a fun, cozy villager to have. Why not? I don't know why my headphones were so far back. Hello. Let me know whenever I switch over to the actual game in a second and I start doing things. Because right now I'm just next to the beach. Let me know whenever I start moving around and doing things how the volume for the game is. Because I went back and I listened to my Stardew Valley stream from the other day and I felt like the sounds from my Switch were a little bit loud. Maybe it was just me. Because nobody said anything, but I felt like it was a little bit loud. But point being, let me know how the volume is after like a couple of minutes of me doing things. So that way I can adjust it if needed. But yeah, I did go ahead and double check. I do have room for 2 more villagers, so I set down this plot already. And then once a villager has been chosen for that one, I'll have room for 1 more, so we are good to go. Got all my tickets, I've got my vaulting pole. We are good. We can just go ahead and get right on into it. Excuse me. Also, I still haven't figured out what the whole random mystery illness thing that was going on the other day was. I'm mostly fine now. I feel like I still sound a little off. Maybe it's just me. But in terms of how I'm feeling, I'm good. I don't know what happened. It was very brief, but it is what it is. We're good. Let me go ahead and say hello to you all before I forget, because I might do that. Hello, Zach. Hello, Hannah. And hello, Grayson. Welcome in. I did go ahead and I put a poll up there. I don't know how long I'm going to leave that one up for, but go ahead and cast your vote. Who do you think that I will find first, Apple or Maple? And yeah, I'm glad audio is good. If anybody thinks otherwise, let me know. Oh, and same thing that I did last time, I am gonna go out of my way to look for DIY recipes just because I'm trying to collect as many of them as I can, regardless of what they're for. Because if all things go to plan, how I want them to be, then I'm not gonna reset, at least not for a very long time after this. And because of that, I just wanna have as many of them as possible. It would just be nice. I'm not going to say, like, never resetting at all, just because with me and the way that I tend to prefer to play, I don't feel like that's a realistic statement to make, because I very well may reset eventually. But for right now, I don't plan to do that for a hot minute, you know what I mean? How's everybody doing today? How is your morning? I've had coffee already. I have water with me. I do want to say, super random thought and like general question that I wanted to ask everyone. Have you ever like washed your hair like in the evening or at nighttime and then you wake up in the morning and your hair still seems like kind of wet? Because for me, mine's pretty long and I braid it at night so that way it doesn't get super tangled. And last night I accidentally braided it a little bit too tightly. Like it's meant to be like a semi-loose braid. And because it was too tight, it couldn't dry fully. So now it's like partially wet still. Did my stream just lag, or am I seeing things? I sincerely hope I was just seeing things. Hello, Rich, welcome in. I really hope I'm just seeing things, because that's gonna be really upsetting. Looking for a DIY recipe. I don't think this one has one. Oh, okay. I did finally get a different outfit though. Maple's come to my island a couple of times. Not Maple, I mean Mabel. In my defense, the 2 names are very similar. You know who I meant though. She's come to my island a couple of times now. I've bought some clothes, so hopefully I can get Able Sisters soon. But in the meantime, I at least have a better outfit. You didn't notice it if it did. It might have just been something on my end then. That was weird. It was really brief too. It wasn't even necessarily with the game. It was just like with my camera. And honestly, that's like more upsetting to me. I'm gonna like move my sleeves because it's a little bit hot in here. That always happens, even whenever it's super cold outside. Every time that I stream at some point or another, even if it's brief, I will feel really overheated. And I truly think it's just because of the lights. I'm tied for what I want to do for tomorrow's stream. I can't decide between like a couple of things. Part of me wants to do a lo-fi Happy Home Paradise decorating stream. Part of me wants to work on getting 3 stars. And another part of me wants to do Sunhaven. So I don't know. Hello, Shiver. Welcome in. I don't know if I told you guys about this the other day. Super unrelated to anything regarding the stream, but I just thought it was like interesting, but also like mildly annoying. So as you guys know, I love crystals. I love to collect things related to crystals. That's just, it's been a hobby of mine for a long time now. And I had a dream the other night where I came across this really big crystal that I loved. It was like a really pretty raw piece. It was not polished. Like I would say it's like, it was about as big as a ruler. And I was really mad whenever I woke up because one, it made me realize that the crystal was not real. Two, it wasn't like any other crystal that I've ever seen. And now I'm like, well, either my subconscious made up a type of crystal on its own, or there's some kind of crystal that I don't know the name of, and I'm really mad because like, how am I supposed to figure out what kind it is if I don't know what terms to search for? It's really aggravating. Hello, Megs, welcome in. Oh, by the way, did you guys see Last Crosser Standing last night? EJ Plays brought back Last Crosser Standing. I don't know going forward how many episodes there's going to be in total because to my awareness, they're a lot of work to put together and a lot of work planning wise. Like there's just a lot of work and so many different aspects that go into setting those up. But because there were so many more people than I feel than there usually is in our single round, and it went on so late last night, then they had to like cut it off early and set up a part 2 for next week. I was like part watching but also part moderating a different stream just because like I have a moderating job to do, but I also didn't want to miss out on LCS. It was really fun though. I don't want to like spoil anything, but it was a very good episode. I don't think I have EJ's command set up anymore. Oh yeah, I did see that there was some kind of update. I don't know what it was for though, but it's like I saw the update because my Switch wanted to update it. Did you remember what the color was? It kind of looked similar to like the color of blue apatite if you look up like a raw piece of blue apatite, but it wasn't blue apatite. Like I know that it wasn't because it wasn't fully blue, but like the texture seemed kind of similar. Sorry, I had to restart the dryer. The ferret bedding was very damp. I had to restart it. Isn't it just the worst whenever you wash literally anything, but especially if it's like your bedding and you think that you've dried it enough, so you like go to check it and then you like shift it around to make sure, and then your bed sheet is like bunched up in the middle of whatever kind of blanket or comforter you have, and then the bed sheet is still partly wet, and then there's like one single patch on the comforter or blanket that's still wet, and you have to dry it several times to make it work. Our dryer is kind of breaking down on us. We need to get a new one soon, so that's like happening more and more often. But I feel like even with perfectly good dryers that are in good condition, that's not what we're looking for. Even ones that are in good condition that are newer, I feel like that still happens, and it's so aggravating. Still no DIY recipe. This is like opposite of what happened last time I went villager hunting. Last time, for the first couple of islands, I found some, and now I'm not seeing any. Thank you for getting EJ's link. I appreciate that. I was annoyed. It was very damp and the dryer is old, so it needs to be restarted. Does anybody else's dryer like make excessive noise? Because ours, I mean, like dryers are gonna make noise like regardless, even if it's like kind of quiet, they're gonna make some noise while they do their job. Ours, as it gets closer and closer to fully breaking on us, like is gradually getting louder. And I'm not gonna lie, for years, I was the kind of person that had a habit of overloading the dryer just with way too many things. But I've gotten better about that. And the other day I was doing laundry. It was mostly towels and like a couple of miscellaneous clothing items. And it was, again, it was not overfilled. It was like a medium average size load of laundry. But of course, as soon as I try to put it in the dryer, it sounds like somebody's like inside of it, like banging on the walls of it. It's so scary. I hate it. Thankfully though, it's at least far away enough from where I stream that the mic doesn't pick that up. I'm so tired. I think I'm still worked up from starting this new job and wanting to be perfect. Speaking of, now that like you've had like your first like full day and everything, how did that go? I think it went well. Hello, Captain Price. Welcome in. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. How are you? Oops. I almost dropped it because it's like slippery from the condensation. Now my hands are like all wet from the bottle. I thought that was ketchup for a second, like just for a brief moment when I saw the red. I was excited because even though we're not looking for ketchup, it's just always fun to like come across random villagers that are like generally liked. You know, like even if somebody like Raymond isn't your favorite or something, randomly coming across Raymond on a villager hunt, I feel like is a very exciting event. Just because he's popular. Now my Joy-Cons are like slippery from that. Oh my gosh, I need to get like a towel for that bottle because that's gonna be really annoying. That one was in the fridge. Normally I just get the room temperature one so it's easier, but I got a cold one today. And now I regret doing that because it's slippery. Who's your favorite character from Squid Game? I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I still haven't watched the second season. I just haven't bothered with it. I want to see it though. Secondly, I don't remember any of the character names from the first season. Like I remember what they look like, kinda sorta, but it's been a really long time. I was nervous the first day. Yesterday was better. I was still worked up and nervous. I cried when I was talking to my cousin. She talked me off the edge. I was overthinking and spiraling, but I'm better. I'm so sorry that you were feeling like that, but I'm glad that you're doing better now. That's no fun. I'm sorry that it was kind of hard. I just need to get out of my own head and relax. If it makes you feel any better, I am very guilty of getting in my own head about a lot of things too. I mean, I don't think that that helped, but I hope that it made you feel less alone. Hello, Nuclear Seagull. Welcome in. Ooh, fun question for chat. I can't make this into a poll because there's just like way too many potential options to put into answer options. So question for all of you. If you hypothetically were put in charge, like if you were like hired by Nintendo hypothetically, and you were the one in charge of coming up with an entirely new like store or like building concept in Animal Crossing, and also an NPC that runs whatever that store or building is, what kind of store or building would you choose and what would the NPC be like? I feel like that was a really fun question, so I might even make that question of the week next week on Discord. So if you see it pop up, no you didn't. But let me know. For a more like specific example of what I mean if that didn't exactly make sense, for an example of like a store or building, I mean like Able Sisters, for example, and then like the Able Sisters that run it. You know what I mean? Something adjacent to that. Like what store or building would you want to make and what NPC would run it? Did you see my message? I tell you my favorite. I did not. I saw your other messages, but I didn't see any of them that mentioned anything about a favorite character. I'm saving up my money to get another Burmese. My like spending money that's not like, because a lot of my money gets saved, but the money that's getting spent for fun things, because I definitely believe that you should be able to treat yourself sometimes as long as you like, if you're able to afford to, there's nothing wrong with getting yourself treats sometimes. My treat money, the next time that I get one, is getting set aside for probably another cassette tape or another CD. That, or I'll put some like more of it aside to getting a Switch 2, because I do eventually want to get a Switch 2, like for sure. I just keep like putting it off. I don't see a need to hurry, but it'll happen eventually. Speaking of cassette tapes and CDs, some of mine I believe will get here like in the early half of next week. And I'm saying it like that just because like it's like one of those things where it's like it's gonna be here between this date and this date. Like you're not like sure when exactly. An arcade where you can play the Nintendo games from your subscription. That would be really cool. I would love that. I'm sure if that was real, that everybody would be all over that. What NPC would you have run that? Like if you could create one, like what animal would they be? What would you name them? A gym. The NPC would be a gorilla, and what you can do is go exercise, and when you exercise, you can improve things such as swimming faster in the water and chopping trees and less swings. That is also another genius idea, like for sure. Because like one, it's just fun. Two, it's functional. Like it serves a purpose. I love that. See, this is why I've like always felt like Nintendo needs to go out of their way sometimes to just listen to ideas that their fans have. Because a lot of us have some really great ideas. Even if they don't follow like the ideas detail for detail, and maybe they like omit certain things or add some of their own stuff into said idea. Just overall, I feel like listening to us would be a smart move for them. And that's not to say that they don't listen to us at all, because they definitely listen to us multiple times in the past, but there's also plenty of times where they don't. That's not really the point here, but you know what I mean. My large goal in the short run, I need to get an Apple Watch that will help me for work. I used to have one, but I didn't really use it. And I should have, but I ended up selling it. That's an awesome idea. I do think Nintendo does listen. They just take a while to implement. That's another thing. Like it's not that they don't listen at all, because they definitely do sometimes. They don't always do it. And whenever they do listen, it does tend to take a while to implement things, which then makes it feel like they don't listen. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to think of what mine would be if I implemented something. So that's just a really fun question. I think what mine would be, I'm not really sure what the exact like technical term for this would be, so I'll try my best. But I think that it would have like some kind of like art studio or like art related building, and you go into whatever this studio or art building is, and you can take art lessons, and then every time that you complete a lesson, you learn an extra skill to use in the custom designs app, and that skill in question will make it easier to create your own custom designs. I feel like that'd be fun. As for the kind of animal that runs that art studio or art building, wait, what filter is this? I can't see. Oh, it's Faith. I remember our past beef bestie. That's the point. But I think the animal that would run the art studio, let's see. I feel like a horse villager would be really fun for that. I don't know if they'd be a boy or a girl, but I feel like they would be a horse villager. Switch 2 and every other piece of electronica is getting more expensive because of the RAM shortage. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. RAM shortage. That's another thing. Like, I keep putting it off because I'm not in a hurry, but at the same time, I am very aware of that, and that's really worrying. So at some point, I might just say, the hell with it and buy one. Just because I'm scared of how expensive it might get. Like, technically right now, if you were, like, for some reason, if you were to, like, force me to do that, I could afford to. It would just make a decent-sized dent in my money, but I would be okay. I just want the load-in screens for flying into islands to not be so long and annoying. Like, I get why they were what they were going for, but they could be less intrusive. Valid. Very valid. Resquish does nothing, to be honest. That's kind of true, though, because I feel like whenever you go to Reese and Cyrus to customize furniture, it's like Cyrus that seems to do like all the work. I was gonna end the poll, but now I see that it's tied. I'll leave it up there for a little bit longer. If you wanted to vote, now would be a good time so that we can break the tie. But I don't like to end polls whenever they're tied. Are there any DIY recipes? It's looking like there's probably not. Check the other side. Just claps. They should give her a job. If they ever did the art studio, art building type of idea, I feel like that would be really fun for her to do that. Just because it's like kind of adjacent to what Cyrus says. He like does like the art in regards to customizing your stuff for you. That's a type of art. So maybe Reese's version of that could be the art studio, you know? I think that'd be fun. And plus, imagine being in a tiny little Animal Crossing art studio, learning how to paint or like draw a certain way, and then you just learn extra skills and tools for the custom designs. That would be so fun. I would love that. I just noticed on the back of my character's overalls that I bought today, there's like a little V-shaped like divot in the denim fabric. I don't know why it's there. Isn't that supposed to be straight across? Why does it look like that? I don't like it. Now it's bothering me. Not a huge deal. I'm gonna leave them on, but like it's annoying me now that I've noticed. Any over here? Oh, yep. Regardless of whatever they add, take out, so on and so forth with the next Animal Crossing game, whenever that happens, one thing that I really, really do hope that they consider, even whether it's islands, towns, yeah, whatever it is that they give us, I hope that they bring back some of the fruits that they removed from New Leaf, because that has never made sense to me. It has never, ever made sense to me. Because, like, they were introduced because New Leaf had Tortimer Island, which was like the whole like start of tropical island themes being added in. But then they go and make New Horizons, which is even more island themed, but they took them out. Like it just does not make sense at all. Like there is no logic in that. So I hope that since, you know, it's been in a town-based game and an island-based game, that they bring them back. I will never understand why it was taken out. If anybody knows about that, tell me, let me know, because I would love to hear about it. Hello, Saturn, welcome in. You're good. Enjoy your lurk. I feel like I could rant about that for like ages, though. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I was gonna try and justify it for a second, and then I was like, you know what? Never mind. What I was gonna attempt to justify it with was with coding, because I know nothing about coding. I don't know any of that stuff, so for all I know, maybe there's just something that I'm missing here that I don't understand. But with New Horizons, they added in all kinds of stuff about customizing, so that I'm sure that was a whole bunch of extra work in and of itself. But I feel like adding in new fruits can't be that bad. No, I don't know. I'm just annoyed. Why did they take them out? I'm probably always going to be salty about that. I'll stop being salty about it if the next Animal Crossing game has those fruits again. I'm gonna end the poll while it's still not tied. It was tied for a while. It's really odd too because pineapple dress and hat exists, so Nintendo know they put pineapples in the game. I would love to sit there and have a chit chat with Nintendo and be like, why did you do that? What was the purpose? If anybody here happens to know anything about coding, do you think it could have been a coding related thing? Because I have no idea. I had a couple of other Animal Crossing themed poll ideas, and now I'm spacing on it. So annoying when I do this. I'll come up with all kinds of fun ideas for polls for you guys, and then they just poof. They leave my brain. midstream or before the stream even starts. It's amazing. I'm sure it'll come back to me eventually. I don't remember his name. We're not picking him, but I don't remember his name. I almost wanted to call him Stu for a second, but that is not Stu. The color just reminded me of Stu. My only guess is that Nintendo didn't think the fruit was necessary. Maybe they saw mostly Brewster and Cap'n requests and not any of the fruit requests. True. I see where you're going with that. I think my only counter for that would be the fact that Cap'n and Brewster were already, like, by default, part of New Leaf, as far as I remember. Given I was, like, semi-young whenever New Leaf first came out, I don't remember if they were in the game right away, but I feel like they were. At least Cap'n was. I don't remember if Brewster was. But either way, they were, like, long-term part of New Leaf. And then they were taken out for New Horizons and put back in as part of updates. So I don't know. I'm sure they've got reasons, but they are not reasons that I will ever really understand. And they could have made the new fruits available on Cap'n tours. I almost never go on Cap'n tours. That's another thing. Like, they could have made it, like, a little bit more of, like, a special thing if they wanted to. Like, it didn't have to be, like, as, like, widely available in-game. It just, I don't know. Especially stuff like the mangoes. Like, come on. Like, the mangoes and the bananas. Why would you get rid of that? This whole stream is just me ranting about Animal Crossing fruits, truly. Almost done with the poll. Actually, I don't remember how many there are for the other villager species, so I'm just gonna do as is. I wanted to put at least 3 options, but I just don't remember off the top of my head how many things, like how many bear villagers there are and how many bear cub villagers, so on. Isn't that Mott? Or is that one of the other lion villagers? I don't know, he's kind of far away. I was gonna give you another close-up by going over there, but then he just decided to hide behind a tree. Are there enough bunny villagers for that? Maybe I could do like another one after that. How many bunnies are there? And let's see, what other villager species could I do that with? Well, I can tell you one thing, I definitely couldn't do it with the octopus villagers. That would not work. Well, now I want to look that up here. I'll wait until it's loading. Okay, so there's 16 bear villagers and then 20 cub villagers. So bear villagers it would work with. Let me try it with bunnies. There's 22. Okay, so that would work. I'll do a part 2 to that poll then. Speaking of bunnies, Shiver manifested this one. It's Ruby. I don't even need to look at her face to see. I know that's Ruby. I can tell. I think we are. I can count Snake, Genji, Dottie, Carmen, Sasha, Coco, Francine, Tiffany, Mira, and Ruby. Mira, my sworn enemy. We will always beef with each other. I think, like, in terms of, like, running jokes on this channel, I feel like me beefing with Mira is probably one of the oldest ones. Oh, accidentally have part of the poll highlighted. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. I really wish I could vote on my own polls. It would be nice if it let me. By the way, if you have not already, please be sure to like the live stream. Liking the stream is 100% free, and it's a super easy way to support me. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. So far, everybody said all cat island. I love the cat villagers too, but I think just because Portia is a dog villager, I'd probably choose the dogs. Circling back to the question I asked a bit ago about if you could come up with your own hypothetical Animal Crossing store or building and then an NPC that runs it. If you could choose one, but this time it doesn't even necessarily have to serve an in-game purpose. Like, you don't have to gain anything from it. Like, it's just purely for fun to have, just for doing fun things and for hanging out with your friends out. Like, if you invite friends to your island, just for the sake of doing fun things and not gaining something from it. What kind of building would you want? I think for me, I would choose an ice cream parlor. Could you imagine having an ice cream parlor and like a cute pastel villager running it? That would be so cute. I would love that. And I would go to it all the time. Constantly. I think for who runs the ice cream shop, I think... Who would be best for that? Hear me out, but I feel like an octopus NPC would be really fun for that. Could you imagine like them holding like multiple ice cream cones for you at once? That would be so cute. And they have like a little ice cream cone on their head. That was my knuckles if you heard that. I'm very guilty of popping my knuckles. I've done a cat island, a dog island would be fun. Mario slash raid. Oh, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, friends. How are you? How was the stream and what did you stream? Oh my gosh, wait, that reminds me. Whenever I switched over my commands, I don't remember if I kept the welcome raiders command, but either way, welcome in. Thank you for coming by my stream. I appreciate you. I don't remember if I kept the command, and if I did, I might not have updated the message, so if the message isn't updated, I'm sorry. The sentiment is there. Hello, Mario slash the Super Ultimate. Welcome in. How are you? How was your stream? You're streaming Pac-Man World 2 GameCube version. Ooh, I don't think I've played that. I have played Pac-Man before, but I don't think I've played that one. The Pac-Man that I've played was always at like a physical, like arcade type machine. Yeah, I guess I just need to update that. But either way, I appreciate your support. Welcome in, friends. If you can't stay, that is completely fine. Don't worry about it. I appreciate your support anyways. That kind of makes me want to play Pac-Man, though. I haven't played it in a really, really long time. Currently, friends, we are looking for Apple and Maple. I don't necessarily have a preference for who I find first. I just would love to have both of them on my island eventually. So far, no luck, though, and I'm also like stopping by the islands to look around for message in a bottles because I'm trying to collect as many DIYs as I can. I'm going to take just a second really quick to learn all the ones that are in my pockets. That way I can free up some extra space. By the way, could one of the mods, if you're not already doing that, get a link for Mario/Super Ultimate, please and thank you. One of these days, I will eventually figure out that shoutout command, and today is just not one of those days. I swear I keep trying, and I'm not. You'd think for how long I've streamed for that I would be a lot more tech savvy than I am, but I'm not. A lot of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes for bots and commands and live streams is a lot more of a pain than you'd think. It's really obnoxious to set up sometimes. Thank you, Shiver. I appreciate it. Can't you get Nook Miles for memorizing a bunch of DIY recipes? Is that a thing, or did I make that up? I might have, like, imagined that or something. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, I swear today is one of those days where the stream feels like it's zooming right on by, and I say this, it feels like, at least to me, it feels like 2 minutes ago that I put that poll up, and now it's apparently been up for almost 10 minutes already. Excuse me? What do you mean? How is that? That's really messing with me. What do you mean? What do you mean it's been almost 10 minutes? Isn't her name June? Or it's something similar to June. Either way, I think I had her on my old island Hibiscus. Either way, I'll probably end it in like a couple of minutes so that way I can do the part 2 with the bears and the bunnies. So if you wanted to vote, now would be a good time. I do want to see though, how long have I been streaming for so far? Okay. I kind of want to try and see how many there are for other villager species, because maybe I could do like a 4-option poll too. Okay, so there's enough there. Cool, and then one more, let me think. I don't know. I need to think about that. The 4-option poll I could leave there for a little bit longer. I mean, technically you can leave any poll on there for any amount of time, but I just feel like the ones that have more options, that they should be left there a little bit longer. No DIY recipe, okay. Okay, so I know what I'll do for the next one. Just waiting so I can end the other one. I love that I already have like 2 different poll ideas queued up in my head. Whenever this one ends, I've got a second one, and then whenever that one's done, I have a completely different one that I want to do. And technically, like the follow-up one after the next animal one, I'm pretty sure it's probably something that I've asked you guys already, but in my defense, it's been like at least like over a year since I've asked. I don't have any recollection of what the poll results were. I don't remember what you guys said. I don't know if anybody else remembers what the answers were, so we'll just do it again. It's fine. All right, so for the next one, give me a moment. Okay, just double checking. Did I make any typos? No, I don't think so. Okay. I believe that's Paula. I think her name is Paula. I think for me, out of those specific options, I don't think I would go for the bird island. I also don't think I would go for the bear island. I think it would be a tie between the bunny and the deer island for me. I say maybe the bunny just because my birthday twin, who ironically is named Bunny, is one of the bunny villagers, so that would be fun just for the sake of my birthday twin, but at the same time I feel like there's a lot of really cool and really unique deer villagers. I don't know. It's a tie between those for me. I'm excited to see what wins on that one though, because the other one was just the cat and the dog villagers. And the cats won by far. Like, by a lot. I think regardless of how many votes that one got, it's like interesting to me because I felt like in my head I anticipated the poll results being a lot closer together regardless of which one won, so it's interesting that the cats won so much. Oh, Aurora, she's adorable. I could have put penguin villagers, but I didn't look that up. I didn't double check how many penguin villagers there are. I'm hoping that even if I don't get both the builders that I want today, that I at least get one of them. Because, you know, the more that you're looking for at once, I feel like the better your odds of getting one that you want. Then again, I've been looking for, I think, almost an hour now. I still haven't found one. How many tickets do I have? I've still got a lot. It's fine. I still haven't gotten my last expansion for my pocket space, but it's because I still don't have enough Nook miles for it. I'm close, though. I think I just need like a little over 1,000 more Nook miles, and then I'm good to go. In fact, depending on how much energy I have after stream and if I still feel like playing a little bit, I might go out of my way to play a bit longer just to get more Nook Miles and then get the pocket expansion. I feel like that's one of those irritating things with a new island is running out of pocket space faster because you don't have the full expansion yet. Especially when the island is really, really fresh and you only have like 2 rows of pocket space. My headphones are like crushing my ear. Ow. It was because like the outside of it was like crushing my ear instead of fully covering it. I think her name is Melba? I think? Is that Melba? I feel like that is. The DIY recipe spawn rates seem to be pretty hit or miss with the islands today. Like sometimes I get lucky and I get a couple and then I go a while without seeing any. It's interesting. And yeah, I think that is Melba. Speaking of, well now I'm curious, how many koala villagers are there? Let me see. There's 11 koala villagers. And then while I'm at it, because I was curious a moment ago, let's look up the penguin villagers. There are 15 penguin villagers. You're seeing a bunch of random villagers too? I am. It does feel very random. I mean, technically it's supposed to be a random thing regardless, but I feel like today especially I've seen a really random combination of villagers. Interesting. I wonder what kind of system they have like baked into the game that's meant to dictate which villagers spawn on these islands whenever you go to them. I can't remember what island I had at the time, but I feel like there was one time like a good several years ago. Well, not like several as in like a ton, but it was a good while ago. I'm pretty sure I was looking for Portia, and it took me several villager hunts to be able to find her. And I feel like that's how it always seems to be with cat and dog villagers, unless you just get really, 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 really lucky. So the general rule of thumb is like the more villagers there are in a certain species, the harder it is to find a specific one on a hunt. I also feel like Stitches in particular tends to be a hard villager for people to find. So far on the poll, the all bunny island option and the all bear island option are tied. Nobody has voted for deer or bird. I'm gonna call it now. I feel like all bird island might not get any votes. Or it'll get like a couple. What other villager species have I not considered? Aside from the obvious ones that have like very little villagers in them, like the octopus ones, there's only a couple with that. I've gone over cats, I've gone over dogs. And for this one, I've gone over the deer, bunny, bird, and bear. I looked up the penguins. I haven't looked up the sheep villager or the rhinos. The gorillas, I feel like there might not be a lot. I'll look those up next time I'm on a longer loading screen. I saw this villager last time. I can't explain it, but like his whole leather, here, if the tree would just move, his whole leather jacket vibe with the sunglasses, hear me out, but it's giving season 1 Dean Winchester on Supernatural. Just a little bit. Like if I ever did a supernatural themed island or one just inspired by the general things on Supernatural, I feel like there's a difference with that. And sometimes the terms get mixed and used as the same thing, but they're two different things. One that's directly themed off of a certain thing in a fandom versus something inspired by a fandom. Those are different things. Because inspired by is more like general, but themed and based on something is a lot more specific and exact. You know? Either way, that villager, I think his name is Eugene, reminds me a lot of Season 1 Dean Winchester. And speaking of Supernatural, this is going somewhere in a second. You guys know how I've talked about a little bit recently, I've been looking for like CDs and cassettes on eBay to grow my collection. I also went ahead and I looked for different like vintage Carhartt jackets on there. And I already have a version of the Carhartt jacket that Sam Winchester wore in the early seasons. It's a little bit big on me though because it's a medium and it's already kind of like a big, hefty, semi-puffy kind of jacket. Not like super duper puffy, but like kind of thick-ish. It's meant for really cold weather and to be super durable. And I got it just because I'm a huge fan. It was a collectible for me. I was super excited about it, but a small would have fit me a little bit better. And I just couldn't find one at the time, so I settled for the medium. It was already a miracle finding a medium that was in good condition. And now that like I've gotten onto eBay and searching stuff on there more, of course I found one that would fit me better in good condition. So I clicked like the heart option because it's not like a favorites list, it's more like a watch list kind of thing that you can do on there. And I keep getting like offers sent to me for it, and I'm like, don't tempt me. Because do I technically need to get that? No, I already have a jacket, and like I should leave the options for other people that want to collect those things. But the temptation is there. Technically the jacket that I already have, I did get off of eBay too, but that was before I made an account. Like I just did like a guest purchase thing, and now I have an actual account and I've learned how to use the website and app better. So speaking of that like general concept, do you guys collect anything? Like regardless of what it is, do you collect anything? Tell me about it. Because I collect a couple of things. I haven't bought anything new for my crystal collection in a really long time just because I already have a pretty large collection and I'm running out of space for the crystals, so I'm pickier about when I buy them and what I buy, but I collect crystals. I now collect CDs and cassette tapes. I collect physical games, like hard copy games. And general supernatural themed memorabilia. That I would like to get more of, but the point is that it technically exists as something I collect. There we go. I'm doing this with my left hand, not my right hand, so I was about to grab my water bottle. Reminder, friends, if this is an English-only live stream, it is the only language that I can read and moderate, and same for my moderators, so English-only, please and thank you. So while that's loading, I'm gonna look up the sheep villagers. There's 16 sheep. Okay. Came with me. I love hoodies. I bought one of those comfort hoodies. I love it. Now I want another. Don't they make matching sweatpants or something, or some kind of like comfy lounge pants that match the hoodies? Because I've seen those before. I was just talking about Stu earlier. I manifested him. At one moment, I had 5 little bears living on my island: Sherry, Maple, Judy, June, and Blue Bear. Blue Bear was one of my earliest villagers on Mayfall. I remember, like, whenever you do, like, the 3 villagers with the necessary plots whenever you're first building up a new island, I believe I had Lopez, Blue Bear, and Ava. I think. I know for sure Blue Bear was one of them. And I'm pretty positive Lopez was one. Or actually, it was Lopez or Bo. I can't remember. One or the other. They're all very comfy. Would you say that they like are decently soft? Almost done with the poll. Okay. This one, I'm super intrigued to see what you guys say. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm sure I probably have asked in the past, but it's been so long that I do not remember what anybody voted for. And who knows, maybe people's preferences have since changed. So let me know. Would you rather have a town, an island, or do you just not have a preference? I personally, I'm not gonna lie. I'll play whatever it is that they end up making. Like, I'm sure I will play that. But I'm not gonna lie, I think I would honestly prefer a town. And I know, like, all the past games, aside from this one, were all towns, but I prefer it. I'm not gonna lie. I prefer it. I think what would be cool to imagine is, so when you think of the overall size of your island in New Horizons, imagine a town in Animal Crossing being that size. Hello, Sabretooth, welcome in. Can one of the mods get a link for Sabretooth, please, and thank you. Yeah, well, it's not a shirt, it's a hoodie, but it's Super Mario Kart. My brother-in-law got it for me for the holidays a couple years ago. Part of the designs are starting to kind of come off a little bit, but in my defense, I wear this hoodie a lot just to like lounge around the house. It's been washed a lot, so it's inevitably gonna kind of wear down a little bit. Unfortunately, I don't think we're getting a new game anytime soon. My theory for why they did the 3.0 update was to give us a little bit of fresh content to work with and enjoy in the meantime, because I do think, I've been back and forth about this, but my final theory on it is that they do want to make another one, and they will make one if they're not already in the process. In fact, I do think they're in the process of that, and I say that because if you do the math for all the past Animal Crossing games, the amount of time that passes between whenever they're announced and when they come out, so on and so forth, the math makes sense for the fact that they would already be working on another one right now, but maybe it's got some complex stuff in it that's taking a while to put together, and they don't want to like leave us hanging forever. So maybe they just made the 3.0 updates. That way we have some like newer and like fresher things to play with and work with in the meantime. Just as like, it's kind of like the equivalent of, you know, whenever you have a really delicious dinner that's going to be made later in the evening, but it's like noon and you still need to keep eating. So you have to have like a lunch, and then you also have to have a snack later. So it's kind of like the update was the equivalent of like that lunch and that snack that you have to have in the meantime before you have your delicious dinner. Does that make sense? So I do think that we'll get another one eventually. I just think that it'll be longer than people ideally want. But I think at the end of the day, what we do have to remember is that it's much better that games get delayed so they can be perfected and worked on as much as possible for release, because, excuse me, if something gets released too soon, then that's not good. I hate whenever you cough and then makes your eyes water. I don't remember if my mascara is waterproof, so I'm like frantically trying to fan my eyeballs so it doesn't ruin it. excuse me, accidentally closed stream and I was getting the link. You're fine. I don't know why, like, I'm not even dehydrated because I had a good amount of water this morning. I have water with me now. And it's like that tickly throat feeling. It's a pretty good analogy. I think we'll either get one at the end of the Switch 2 life or the next console. And yeah, I definitely think that we will eventually too. It's just probably not going to be whenever people would ideally prefer to get it. Imagine the next Animal Crossing game coming out when I'm 25. My brain is going to be fully developed by the next Animal Crossing game. That just aged me because I'm about to be 25 in a few months. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna mute because I really need to cough. Hold on. Where's my mic? I don't know what's wrong with me right now, but I'm just... I guess I have a cough now because I'm not dehydrated. I'm not like sick anymore, but it's like that weird tickly throat feeling back here. And it like is not fun. I was trying to look for my mic frantically so I could mute before I coughed really loud. And my eyes were watering and I just could not find it on Streamlabs at first. Did I already look for a DIY recipe? By the way, do you know when the snow disappears from the island? I've had enough of the snow. I think it should start to disappear in like March. Oh, the 25th apparently. This conversation briefly has just really aged me. Because if you weren't here whenever I first really started my channel and it was like brand new, I started making videos when I was 18. And then later that same year, whenever I was 19, like my birthday had passed, I started streaming. And now I'm about to be 25. Oh my gosh, it still won't go away. What is that? Does anybody know what that is? Like why you get that tickly throat feeling? I would love to know. I just did the math about something. Hold on. Before I make this statement, I need to look something up so that way I'm being more accurate. Okay, and then other one. Okay, so I did the math for it. I've still got a couple of years to go, but I was about like 7, give or take, whenever I first saw gameplay for Animal Crossing and started to kind of play it myself. In a couple of years, it will be 20 years of playing Animal Crossing for me. That's wild. I think I've told this story before, but it's been a long time, so I'll just kind of retell it in summary. I spent a lot of time with my cousins that live a couple hours away from me growing up. Like I would visit them a lot as a kid during the summer. And they had Animal Crossing. They had it on GameCube, and then they later got it like on the Wii. And I would watch them play it on GameCube, and then they would like kind of like let me play it too, and then they would also like let me play their Wii version. And I got my own first copy of Animal Crossing when I was about 7. That's, oh my gosh. I mean, again, I've still got a couple of years to go before it's officially 20 years, but it's close enough to the fact that that's really insane to think about. I was still like a teenager when I first met you, and now I'm literally about to be old enough to drink. Look at us. Before we know it, we'll be in the nursing home together. Not literally, because 20s is still young. It's very young. But this conversation is just making me feel old. And while we're at it, being anywhere in your 30s is not old either. Just so I can put that out there. Those are cute overalls on your character. I need to find some for my current save. Thank you. I just purely found them by chance. This island is still pretty new, and I don't play Animal Crossing every day just to make sure that I'm avoiding burnout, because that's the last thing that I need right now. But I'm at the stage where Maple's kind of visiting my island a couple of times, so that way I can get Able Sisters. I went there today just to like buy some first stuff to further progress on getting Able Sisters, and the overalls were just there. I wonder what other colors they come in though. Because I don't think I've ever even seen these before. You turned 32 this week. I think I already said happy birthday, but happy birthday anyways. Also, welcome to the stream, Hannah. Have you been lurking? Either way, if I have not already welcomed you in, then welcome in. We're in that era again with the villager hunt where I'm not seeing as many DIY recipes. I was 23 when I first played Animal Crossing on the GameCube. I'm in 2004. I'm 44 now. I feel like this conversation is collectively aging everybody. Do you guys feel old? Because I feel old. Speaking of, while we're on this kind of general topic, reminder friends that if you are underaged, please, 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 please do not say anything in chat about your age or something that can hint at how old you are. This is not to be super controlling or restrictive. It is out of caring about your safety, caring about your well-being, and wanting to protect you. Please be safe online. Don't put stuff into public live stream chats if you are underage. Like, don't do that, please. It's because I care about you. If you are 18 or older, you are technically legally an adult. So if you want to do that, you can, but otherwise, don't do that. You have been? Gotcha. Well, either way, thanks for being here. Oh, that reminds me, Hannah, I know you like the Legend of Zelda franchise. Have you completed Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, or really any Zelda game that you've tried? Like, have you completed any of them? Because they're one of those games where it's like, I get really intensely interested in short bursts, and I'll get really into it. Whether or not I stream it, I'll get really into it. And then that interest quickly fizzles out, and then I like have to wait a while before I'm randomly really interested again. Part of me like really misses streaming those games. It's like, on one hand, I find them really fun. I find them really interesting. But at the exact same time, my capacity for remembering all the details in it and my capacity for being good at the combat and whatnot is very minimal. Like, I'm not super good at it per se, but I do like them. And so it just makes me weary of streaming it, because sometimes I think people might feel a little bit impatient seeing how long it takes me to get things done in the game from being so bad at it. So I just get scared to stream it now, unfortunately. Well said, Lexi. Thank you. I just care about everybody's safety, that's all. I'm not trying to make people feel super restricted. If you were wondering what I was pointing at you with, if you couldn't tell, it's a tube of tinted chapstick. Enjoy your lurk, Sabretooth, if I didn't already say that. Not yet. How progressed are you with it? And also, which Zelda games do you have? Interesting. The poll is tied currently between a town and I have no preference. Ooh. I know there's only 6 votes so far, but like that's like interesting to me that nobody said island so far. I'm sure somebody will eventually. But wow. That is not how I saw the poll turning out. You have Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and Link's Awakening. I still have that Nintendo Online subscription. I don't know what the like exact label for it is, but whatever the one is that allows you to play some of the older ones on your Switch, I've got whatever that is. So I've got a good amount of the games. I just, whenever I do feel like playing, primarily play at Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. I feel like a lot of people say you should play them in order and like complete them in order. But also, why should I do that? The games exist so that I can enjoy them and have fun. If I want to play them out of order and also not complete them sometimes, let me do that. At the end of the day, games exist to make us happy, to bring us joy, to be like a fun little pocket of happiness in our lives. If you want to play things out of order, play things out of order. It is not that deep. Forget what the completionists on Reddit say. Play however you want to. Enjoy your games, because they're yours and you spent money on them. You bought the subscription today. I feel like I don't get enough of my money's worth and like play enough of what's on there, and I really should do that, but I don't regret buying it either way because I like having the access to all those games. It's nice. Oh, by the way, just like a little update if you guys haven't seen it. So I did a poll on my community tab for my Stardew Valley Perfection Run series. And I started just a couple of days ago. And it was a poll to decide who I should romance. And like, I talked about this that stream. I'm not gonna like I'm not gonna get on a big tangent on it this stream too. But I basically was saying that I'm not gonna start on the romancing right away. It's something that I'll do eventually. But I went ahead and I did the poll for it. And it's interesting because Emily was winning the poll at first. And now she's like losing the poll really bad. To my surprise, Harvey is strongly in the lead. Anyways, if you wanted to vote on that, it is in the community tab. How long have I been live for? Okay. What was I gonna ask you guys? I hate it when I do this. I feel like I do this at least once every stream, sometimes more. I had one of those moments again where I wanted to ask you something and then the thought just immediately went on vacation in my brain. It'll come back eventually. That's fine. I think that villager's name is Sterling. I think. I feel like that's Sterling, right? Anybody know? I think that it is. Part of me is really curious to know what decides the spawn rate, not the spawn rate, but like, or actually would it be called spawn rate? I don't know, but whatever decides the rate for which flowers and which fruits pop up on the Mystery Islands. I'm really curious. His giant armor bird, that's what we should call him from now on. New name. If you have not already, please be sure to like the live stream. Liking the stream is completely free and it's a super easy way to support me. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I don't think it's the exact same kind of thing, but you know what the star hair clip my character has on kind of reminds me of? For whatever reason, it strongly reminds me of Mabel from Gravity Falls. I'm looking at what colors the denim overalls come in. Like, it's what I'm wearing right now, because I have the black and, like, greenish teal version. Okay, so there's white and black ones, black and green, red and black, orange and beige, green and aqua, aqua and white, brown and blue, and then beige and white. They're all pretty cute, though. I don't think Nintendo would ever add this, but you know what? I thought that would be like a fun, just hypothetical type of villager to think about. It would have to be for if they did another island type of game. Like, I don't think it would work otherwise. But let's say in the hypothetical sense, they did another island-themed Animal Crossing game, right? Imagine if we had, like, dolphin villagers, and you had to, like, swim in the water to get to their house. And you could put their house on, like, little, more like mini islands that are in the water. I don't know, I just feel like dolphin villagers, if that could somehow hypothetically work, that would be really fun. I guess technically it would work for a town themed Animal Crossing game too, because they do have beaches. So that would work. I don't know, just if that could somehow be put in a game, I think that would be so cute. And also just like incredibly unique. I feel like a lot of people would be interested in that. I don't know how the game mechanics would work, but it would be fun. Poll is still tied. If you have not already voted on it, now would be a good time. I'll leave it up there for a bit longer, not necessarily a couple of minutes, but I'll wait a decent amount more time. I'm curious though. It's so like interesting, but also kind of funny to me that nobody's said island yet, which is not a bad thing because like I wanted to get your opinions and intentionally that was the point of the poll. I'm just fascinated because I thought that more people would have said island. And you know what I just thought about? When you think about it, I feel like regardless of if they choose town or island for the next game, I feel like there's a chance that they're gonna get backlash either way. And hear me out. I'll explain what I'm saying, but hear me out. I say that they could get backlash either way because if they go for towns, people could be like, well, they already did so many town games. Why would they make another town game? Like, there's so much of that. Why would they do that? But then if they make another island one, people will be like, oh my gosh, we just had an island-themed Animal Crossing game. Why would you make another themed Animal Crossing? Like, there's gonna be people complaining either way. That's the point. Do you agree or disagree? I'm curious. This happens with a lot of large fan bases. Exactly, like there's gonna be people upset in some way, shape, or form, I feel like no matter what they do. So I'm curious because of that, which one they'd go to. Like, I feel like I can honestly see it swinging either way, but again, I would still personally prefer a town just because that's what I like more. But I feel like I can realistically see it swinging either way. It's also really why I loved the concept for New Leaf, because you had a town and you could go across the train tracks to go into more of like the city, like wasn't a city, that wasn't the right word. but it was like Main Street and you had like some miscellaneous shops and things to do there. But then you can just go cross back over the train tracks again and you're back on your town. But then you could talk to Cap'n and he could take you to Tortimer's Island. So I feel like it was like the best of both worlds. You had your town, you had a city-esque type of area, and you also had like a tropical spot to go to. I feel like New Leaf had a wonderful balance of those things. Yeah, there was like a spike in people complaining about Tomodachi Life 2. I'm excited about it personally. I'm most definitely gonna play that. And it's not even just like a Nintendo thing or just like a gaming thing. Like there's always gonna be at least a moderately sized or small sized group of people that are gonna find something to complain about. And whether or not those complaints are valid, sometimes they absolutely are valid complaints. A lot of the times they are not. But there's always gonna be somebody complaining. You can't please everyone. That is the moral of the story. You cannot please everybody. You're good, Megs. Welcome back. My first Animal Crossing game was Wild World. My first one, I believe, was Wild World as well, because there's like a super old picture of me. I'm not going to put it on screen because YouTube's going to flag it thinking that there's minors in the stream whenever there's not. But basically, it was me when I was 7 laying down next to my cousin. We both had our DSs. Like, here's my phone, for example. If this was my DS, it was like that close to my face. Can you see that? It was like that close to my face. I was super focused on my Animal Crossing. Yeah, I had Wild World, and then I later got City Folk. Excuse me. Let me know what you guys think, but I feel like, in my opinion and in my perspective, I think the smartest move that they could make for the next Animal Crossing game is to go for something at least adjacent to what they did to New Leaf, where it was like the town, but you had like a separate area to go to that had some other shops, but then you also had Tortimer Island. And they would have to add like some new features realistically, so that way it would still feel fresh and it would feel new and it wouldn't feel like a blatant copy of New Leaf. Though I would honestly play that too and I'd be happy with it, but they would have to like add some new stuff so that way people wouldn't be super outraged. And I feel like it's the smartest thing they could do, so that way you've got like a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? Sorry, just taking a moment to learn all of these so that we can free up pocket space. Almost done. There we go. This is Stovetop Blue Crayon. What does that even mean, Wilbur? Based off of like his like cool guy demeanor and his sunglasses and whatnot, you know what fictional character he reminds me of? Is Uncle Jesse from Full House. No rhyme or reasoning behind it, really. Not much at all, but he reminded me of Uncle Jesse. What do you guys think, though? What do you feel like would be the smartest move for Nintendo to make for the next Animal Crossing game, in your opinion? It's also totally fine if you disagree with me. I just feel like something at least adjacent to the setup for New Leaf would be a good idea. Where's the villager? They're hiding from me. Okay, well, we're not taking that villager, but at least we found them. That's always annoying whenever you go villager hunting. You get to the island, right, and then the villager just decides to hide from you. Or they're somehow conveniently standing right behind one of the trees and then they don't really move and you have to, like, go behind all the trees to search for them. They should keep terraforming and the ability to place furniture outside. Yes, 100%. Wholeheartedly, immediately agree with you. Ooh, I have something that I thought about. Let me know if you agree or not. But you know how technically speaking with the way that the game is designed, like if you really just think about how the game is made, how it's meant to be played, villager hunting technically wasn't really supposed to be a thing. I mean, technically you can, but like it's meant to be with much smaller amounts of Nook Miles tickets because you're not meant to get them in bulk from friends or treasure islands. Because people made that such a huge thing with New Horizons, I would not be surprised if they omitted that kind of possibility in the next game, so that way people don't villager hunt. Part of me like hopes that they don't do that, but do I realistically see them at least considering it? Yes, I absolutely do. Like if they remove that in the next Animal Crossing game, I think the hype will severely die down. I agree with you, and I feel like if they're using their noggins and really thinking about it, they'll consider that. Or at least I really hope they do. Unrelated, I downloaded the Nintendo Music app and it had the Wii Sports music. I love the Wii Sports music that's like remixed into lo-fi. I feel like people would be so mad. I feel like people are gonna be like legitimately so outraged online if the outside furniture option is removed. And myself included, like I would be really, really upset too. Well, we saw right away that it's not a villager that we wanted, but we're gonna look for a DIY recipe as I have been for basically every island. Oh, by the way, Megs, I don't know if you saw my message about it on Discord, but I did decide, since it's looking like Emily is probably not going to win the poll about who I romance on my perfection run, I decided that since she's like probably not going to win that, then I'll romance her on my personal farm, which I haven't made the personal farm yet, but I will eventually. I know that you've been like wanting me to romance her for a while, so I will do that. How many tickets do I have? I still have a lot. You romance Snake from Animal Crossing? That is something that I know that was a joke, but I know for certain that Nintendo was never gonna add a villager romancing feature. Like, I don't feel like that's their style. But could you imagine If for some reason that was a thing, what villager would you romance? That is just, yeah, they're never gonna add that. But if you could, who would you romance? I do, Tiffany. I think she's underrated. You know what? You're right. She is pretty underrated. You'd romance Fauna. I feel like my answer is pretty obvious, but I would go for Portia. But yeah, Nintendo's definitely never gonna add that. But I get why, because Animal Crossing really is not the game for that. Whenever we get closer to end of stream time, I'll start being a lot more open to who I take. I still would ideally prefer to get like Apple or Maple because that was the original goal. But if I get that far without taking home at least one villager, then I'll be a lot more like lenient about who I take. Want to know what we can do though in Tomodachi Life Living the Dream? The me customization feature is expanded so we can make villagers and romance them. Wait, hold on, what? Because I know there was already like romance stuff in Tomodachi Life. Wait, wasn't there already romance in it? Unless there's like a detail or something that I'm misunderstanding, because there might be. I think that is Big Top. I think so. Let me see, how long have I been live for? I'll check in a second. It gets to the loading screen. I need to stretch my arms for a second. I'm actually have been live for longer than I thought. It says an hour and 37 minutes. So I'm actually going to implement what I was just saying a moment ago. I'm going to start being a lot more open to which villagers I take. Again, I would still prefer an Apple or Maple. But I do want to like fill up the rest of my island so I can shift my focus back towards working on the island itself, getting 3 stars and so on. I can't put that off for forever. Update on the poll results, by the way. So 11% of you have said island, 33% of you have said town, and then 56% of you have said you have no preference. Ooh! Okay. Sorry, that might have been kind of loud. So now that I'm being a little more open to who I take, I feel like, listen, Lolly looks like my cat IRL. I feel like I need to take her. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take her just because I like her. She looks like my cat, and again, I need more villagers. now that I've gotten that situated, let me go see if there's a DIY recipe. Like, you can make Mies look like the villagers and they can fall in love with each other, so we can make our Mies fall in love with the Mies that look like the villager. Oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry, I didn't understand at first. YouTube blocked my last message because I was in top chat. Rude. Not very nice of you. So since this wasn't a matter of me kicking out a villager, I've got one more plot that I can buy and set down, so I should be able to jump right back into villager hunting after I go and set down a plot. Like here, just for example, this is where I put, or actually you technically saw it earlier, but this is where Lolly's house is going to be. For now, it'll get moved eventually. I just wanted stuff to be at least mostly out of the way. In fact, like most of the villager houses are going to get moved eventually. Oh, you know how we were saying that, or technically Shiver said this first, and I agree with it. But that if for the next Animal Crossing game, if they get rid of putting furniture outside, then people are going to be mad. You know what else I think people are going to be mad about? Is if they remove the feature to place down a housing plot. Because New Leaf didn't have that. It was a brand new thing that they introduced for New Horizons. So if they take that away, I'm sure people will be really upset about that too. Because if you didn't play New Leaf, long story short, let's say you had some kind of pathing that you wanted to put on the ground. And you like spent like hours perfecting where it was placed. You just worked really hard on it. And then randomly a new villager would have moved in. And you had no control over where the house went. And it could just end up smack dab on top of where you put the pathing. And it just ruins your plans. Absolutely ruins it. Well, I'm looking for a spot to put the plot. When the next Animal Crossing game takes place in space, people actually talked about that. Like there would be like other planets you could go to that had like alien type villagers. I don't want to spend forever on this, so oh, by the way, welcome to the stream, Connor. I don't want to spend forever on this, so it's gonna go like back here. And it can get moved later. I should be good to go then. I don't see why not. Got my tickets, got an empty plot. Should be fine. Even if like one ticket gets wasted, I've got a lot. It's not a big deal. And now the poll says 10% of you said island, 40% of you said town, and 50% of you said you have no preference. Interesting. Oops, did not mean to highlight the whole chat. Have you ever watched somebody stream on browser and you meant to like click something on the poll or just one particular thing in chat or something, and then it just like highlights the whole thing in blue? Because that randomly happens to me sometimes. Did I mess this up? Because there's not a villager here. Okay, yeah, I guess I ended up wasting a ticket, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It is okay. I probably should have thought about that, but I figured maybe it would have been fine because I already had the empty plot. I didn't realize that you still had to wait a day at a time for that. And you know what? It's fine. Should I time travel and see if it autofills? And then we can find out together who it autofilled to. I think I really only would have been like super annoyed if I was further into the island development, but I need more villagers anyways, so the purpose will get served no matter what. And I do have amiibos, but don't you need to craft things repetitively for the amiibo villagers? I don't think it will. I had that issue. It made me wait until the next day. With the amiibo villagers, do you have to, I forget because it's been a really long time, do you have to invite them multiple times and also craft for them? Or is it just a matter of invite them once and then craft a couple of things and then they'll be persuaded enough to move in? I can't remember which one it is. Can somebody let me know, please? You have to craft 3 items and inviting them 3 times. Okay, yeah, then I do not have the time on the stream for that today. Well, then we will just, I'm gonna save then, so that way, in time travel, so that way Lolly can move in. And then we'll just see if it perchance autofills the other one. Oh, by the way, I know we all have different time zones, so if you've already had lunch today, what did you have for lunch? And if you haven't had it, but you know what you're gonna have, what are you gonna have? I haven't had lunch yet. It's almost 1 p.m. here, but I also have no idea what I'm gonna eat. Dark Souls cameo. Yeah, for like a couple of seconds. Had pizza. Pizza sounds good. I don't want some now. I would have to save that for dinner later though, just because for whatever reason for me, I feel like I prefer having that for dinner unless it's like leftover pizza that I already had in the fridge, because that's different. You're gonna eat oxygen? What flavor oxygen? I had a really large chicken strip. It was like the largest piece in the box. Whenever you guys eat stuff, like if you eat meat, that is, whenever you eat things like chicken nuggets or chicken tenders, do you prefer to eat them completely dry or with dipping sauce? And if you say dipping sauce, then what sauce do you prefer? Since Mabel is here, I'm gonna see if she's either gonna offer to have Able Sisters built or if I just need to buy more stuff from her, because I want to get that done ASAP too. Either way, I'm glad that we at least got Lolly today because I like her. Sure, she wasn't the original goal, but either way, I'm happy with it, so that's fine. You know what? I'm not even mad about it. Filbert is a good villager. I like Filbert. Okay, let me just, while I'm at it, talk to Mabel. There we go. The front part of my island is like really crowded at the moment, but for the millionth time, things will get moved around eventually. I'm not super worried about it. Yeah, exactly. Like, I like Filbert, so I'm not mad about it. Front's pretty crowded. I've got a bunch of villagers on this side as well. Where else can I put the store? I know there's not a bridge that gets to this side yet, but I will make one eventually. I hope there's stuff all over the ground that I still haven't picked up. I don't know where I want to put it. I originally wanted to put an orchard over here, so I probably shouldn't do it, but at the same time, if it's gonna be a bunch of like fruit trees right next to the beach, I feel like that might look a little funny. I don't know. I shouldn't overthink it. My favorite villager is Ketchup. Ketchup is from an amiibo. Can't you get her from an island too, though, like a mystery island? If you go villager hunting? Maybe like for this like upper area, whenever I move me and Tommy's, maybe it could be like an outlet mall type area that has like a pretty naturey fruit orchard down there. That would be cool. Maybe I'll do that eventually. Alright, do I need to talk to her afterwards? I don't remember. I'll just go do it anyways. I'm surprised that that did not scare the fish that was right there. Okay, now let me see. I technically have 8 minutes left of the stream, but I am going to go ahead and head out because I've done the villager hunting that I can today. I've got a villager that is going to be autofilling. It's Filbert. So with that said, thank you so much for coming to my stream. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't done either of those things already, I would greatly appreciate it if you could, as they are completely free and a very easy way to support me. The schedule command should pop up in chat in a moment. And thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate all of your support, and I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time for another live stream. Bye, everybody!